Alrighty, let's get started. What was that? Holy Honestly, I have had so much on my mind lately because I'm working full time and also planning a wedding. And I was never that girl that had a Pinterest board of what she wanted her venue to look like and her wedding dress. So I'm learning throughout this process, but there are so many nitty-gritty details that you don't even think about. So I'm going to start part 2 of my wedding series talking about choosing a venue and choosing my wedding dress, which are 2 things I get to cross off my checklist. But our wedding is in February and it's 4 months away, which is insane. There's still so much to do and I feel really behind, but I wanted to talk about what I've been learning during this process of choosing 2 big pieces of a wedding, venue and wedding dress. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more faith-based content and to follow along in this wedding journey that I'm in. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so wedding venue. This is something that I realized was crucial to an actual wedding. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I'm not a party planner. I've never been one to plan any type of party. So just planning a wedding in general is kind of overwhelming for me, but I learned that if you choose a venue, everything else kind of falls into place. Now for Ryan and I, we wanted an all-inclusive package in our venue. There are some venues that just basically come with the plot of land and an area for your ceremony, and basically you can hire different vendors to customize your tables and chairs and catering and all that stuff. But for us, we wanted the simple route of just having everything there and just having a package that met our budget goals, which was crucial as well. So we looked into 4 different venue locations. And the first one was in San Juan Capistrano. It was a beautiful golf course. They had an interesting wedding package. And so we checked it out. We loved the different types of ceremony locations that they included in the package. They also had really pretty reception areas that we liked as well. After that, I was doing more research and I learned about Wedgwood Weddings, which, if you know anything about their wedding packages, they basically are all-inclusive packages that come with tables, chairs, DJ, wedding invitations, a wedding cake, basically everything you want out of a wedding, they do it for you. And that's something that Ryan and I really loved. And so we wanted to check out a few locations. The first one was a location in Irvine. We live in Southern California, by the way. So we were looking at different areas in the Irvine / San Juan Capistrano area. They had a location in UCI, the University of Irvine. And it was a really pretty location. Now, the ceremony, it was cute, but I didn't really love it. The reception area was absolutely gorgeous. They had a beautiful chandelier, lots of windows. They had pretty lights outside for cocktail hour. And it was very reasonably priced. When we were looking around, we thought this could definitely be a potential venue location for us. However, there was something in me that was like, this is not 100% the one for me, but I'm going to keep my options open. And thankfully, what they also have is a deal where they give you $500 off of the ceremony and reception if you book 4 or 5 months in advance. And so we're kind of in that 5-month mark. So that was a good deal because it saves us $500. But after that, we decided to look at Aliso Viejo and San Clemente, which were 2 locations that were closer to the beach, and they were such pretty locations, especially the Aliso Viejo one. I absolutely loved that area. It was another golf course. And we looked at the location. It was beautiful. They had 2 or 3 different ceremony areas that we could choose from, which I really loved. The bridal suite was big, and they also had a really pretty reception area as well. It was more of my style, and it was also very customizable, but it was a package deal just like the one in Irvine. Aliso Viejo was honestly my top choice. So at the end of the day, Ryan and I talked about it and we thought Aliso Viejo is the one. So that is the venue that we chose for the ceremony and reception, which we're really excited about. Side note, get a location where your ceremony and reception are just close to each other because it just makes life easier for you. So all in all, so far, I recommend Wedgwood Weddings. Obviously, we just started the process, so I'm going to give you updates as we get closer to our wedding. But this is so helpful for me so far because I'm able to take a step back and say, okay, I don't have to deal with a bunch of different vendors. I did find a photographer that I'm going to be hiring on for our wedding as well, and they're not a part of Wedgwood. But other than that, it also comes with a DJ too, which was awesome. So it's made the process a lot easier for me. At the same time, there are so many nitty-gritty details that I need to look through and say, okay, how do I want the look and feel of my wedding to be? But thankfully, Pinterest exists and there is so much inspiration out there. And so what has helped me organize my brain and all of these ideas I have in my head was to create different folders for bridesmaid dresses, for flowers, for the cake, for different signs that I want at the ceremony and reception area. And there are so many ideas, it can get overwhelming. But as I've been pinning different pictures, I realize I love earthy tones, I love peachy colors, even for bridesmaid dresses. Let me tell you, that was so hard to choose because there are so many different colors out there. I didn't even realize how many colors there were. And I ended up narrowing it down to a champagne-y color because I love anything beige and pastels, and so that helped me choose my bridesmaid dresses because that was my overall theme for the wedding. But I definitely recommend Pinterest. If you haven't already used it, definitely organize your board so that each can have a specific theme. And then as you're pinning more and more themes, you realize, oh, this is actually what I really like, or these are the type of flowers that I've been pinning, so I think I'm going to go for this type of style. This has definitely helped me. So pro tip, if you don't really use Pinterest or maybe you use it casually, for a wedding, I think personally it's a must. All right, so now that I had the venue checked off my list, the second thing I was determined to choose was my wedding dress. And honestly, it was so fun going wedding dress shopping because my cousin flew in from Texas and I was able to go with my mom, my sister, and my cousin, and we went to 2 different boutiques. The first one I absolutely fell in love with because the store was beautiful and they had so many different dresses to try on. But something that I learned as I was going wedding dress shopping is that there is a difference between what you think you want and what you actually decide on. As I was looking for different types of styles and inspiration on Pinterest, I kept saving pictures of dresses that had a very minimalistic style. I loved floral design. I didn't want anything poofy. I was looking for more of a modern look. But when I went into the first store, I kind of had an open mind and I tried on all sorts of dresses. Now, the first dress I tried on was super pretty. This was a dress that I was saving on Pinterest, like this exact type of look. It wasn't super poofy. It had really pretty flowers on them. It had a V-line cut to it. For me, I loved the fit. I didn't like that it was a pretty low cut dress, so I wasn't really feeling that, but I did love the thin straps, which was something that I was looking for. I wanted either something that had thin straps or no straps. That's kind of what I was going for basically. So I really liked this dress, but I wasn't wowed by it. All right, so now for the second dress. I absolutely loved it. I loved the sweetheart type of neckline. It had a really pretty beaded design on the top part, and it was super flowy and long, but it wasn't overly poofy or anything, and I loved the fit of it. It fit me really nicely, and it was pretty comfortable. It was a little itchy at the top, but they said they could put a lining inside so that it can fit more comfortably. But I absolutely loved this dress. Honestly, it wasn't something I was looking for when I did try to find inspiration on Pinterest, but when I tried it on, I absolutely fell in love with this dress. So this was one of my favorites. All right, so for the third dress I tried on, it was similar to the first one. It had a very flowy, long type of look. I really loved the fit of it, but I wasn't comfortable with that V-shaped neckline because it was pretty opened in the front and I wanted something that was more secure. I loved the minimal floral look that it had in the design, but it wasn't something that I was going for because honestly, I loved the second dress and how flowy it was, and this one wasn't as flowy. It was still very comfortable, but I wasn't really feeling it as much. I did love the back though. The back also had a V-shaped design to it, and so that fit me really, really nicely, but it still wasn't the one. All right, so moving on to the fourth dress. Now, I absolutely love the fourth dress too. It was similar to the second one. It had that really pretty beaded look to it. It didn't have any straps, but you could add straps to the sides of your arms. I forget what that's called. Or you could take it off and have it be strapless, which was nice. So it was pretty customizable. It was very flowy and long. It had a long trail to it, which gave it a very classic modern look to it. So this was also another one of my favorites. I really liked how it fit me. Although the one downside to this is that it was a bit itchier than the second one. It was pretty itchy all along this area, and so I think you were able to get a lining in that one as well, but I wasn't sure. So that was the only downside to that dress. So for the fifth dress that I tried on, it was similar to the first and the third. It had a really pretty floral design. It did have that V-shaped neckline, but once it got to this dress, I realized that I don't think I was feeling the whole V-shaped look, even though that was literally what I saved on Pinterest. But the stylist did add on a really pretty veil to the top of it, so it definitely completed the look. I wasn't a huge fan of how it fit on me though. I wasn't really comfortable with it. It was too open in the front for me, and the straps I really did like, but I almost felt like the straps were gonna break loose because of how thin they were. So even though it was a really pretty dress, it wasn't 100% what I was looking for either. Now moving on to the sixth dress. I actually really like this dress too, and I realized I think I'm digging more of that sweetheart shaped type of look instead of the V-shaped look. And this one was similar to the first and the third. It wasn't as poofy, which was nice because I felt really comfortable in it and I was able to move around in it more easily because it didn't have like a long train or anything. So I thought it would be more comfortable, especially if I'm going from the ceremony to the reception. So it was a really pretty look. It had a floral beaded design kind of going down the dress, and that was also really pretty as well. So I left that boutique feeling pretty happy because I tried on a few different styles and I narrowed down what I wanted, but I wanted to go to one other boutique in Irvine just to see what all my options were before making my final decision. So I went to this boutique, and honestly, right off the bat, I wasn't a huge fan of my stylist. She was a bit pushy and overbearing. But what I did like is that the boutique was different. They had very modern, classic wedding dresses, and they were just different. They were unique, and I did like that. So the first dress I tried on was really, really pretty. It fitted me really nicely, but the design was just too much for me. I thought I really liked floral design, but I like a minimalistic type of look, and I thought that the flowers on this dress, or they weren't really flowers, they were more like leaves flowing down the dress. They were just too much for me. So it definitely wasn't the one for me. The second dress I tried on, I actually really like. Of course, it had that sweetheart shaped type of look to it. It had the floral design going down the dress, which was really, really pretty. It fit me really well. It didn't have a long train, which was nice, and it was pretty convenient for me because, again, I was looking for something that was comfortable, that I felt confident in, and so I really liked this one as well. The third dress, honestly, was one of my favorites at this boutique because it had floral design, it was pretty minimalistic, it wasn't over the top, it had that flowy look to it, and it didn't have too much of a train, so I did like that as well. So this was also another one of my favorites. So after that, I tried on a few more dresses at the boutique. I think I tried about 7 or 8 in total, but I wasn't a huge fan of the selection, And the dress that I chose was at the first boutique. So going to that one and trying on different dresses that had a different look and feel to them helped me make my decision and helped me feel confident about the decision that I was making, because I didn't want to just choose the one that I found in the first boutique without trying a few others. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal to you which one it was because I want you guys to guess in the comments below. But overall, a 10 out of 10. I definitely recommend this boutique. If you are looking for a wedding dress, if you recently got engaged, definitely check them out because it's such a cute shop, and the girl that helped me out was awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the process of Ryan and I choosing a venue and my wedding dress. Honestly, I am so relieved to have two of the biggest things crossed off my checklist, and everything seems to be falling into place. I still feel behind because our wedding is in 4 months or a little less than that, which is insane. But God has taught me so much during this process. Don't forget to watch part 1 of my wedding series where I document what God taught me during my single years before meeting my future husband. And subscribe for more faith-based content because this channel is dedicated to asking hard questions, diving into the Bible, and seeing what God says about them. So if you have a hard question, leave them down below. And yeah, I hope you all are having a wonderful week, and I will see you all very soon for another video. Bye, guys.